Hey, friends! Welcome back to our channel, where we explore fascinating stories from around the world. Today, we're diving into the incredible journey of China, a country that has undergone a remarkable transformation over the past few decades. From a nation plagued by poverty and turmoil to becoming a global powerhouse, China's story is truly awe-inspiring. So, let's embark on this journey together. Before that, make sure you subscribe to Macula. Let's start by exploring the roots of the name, China. It originated from the word, Qin, the name of an ancient dynasty that ruled China 2,000 years ago. It is written as Qin but pronounced as Qin. This dynasty played a significant role in unifying the country. In fact, the word Chini, in Hindi, used to refer to Chinese people, is derived from Qin. Interestingly, the name Chini is also associated with refined white sugar, which is believed to have been introduced to India by a Chinese man. Then, in 1850, there was a terrible civil war in China called the Taiping Rebellion. Millions of people were killed. Fast forward 40 years, and you see the First Sino-Japanese War in 1894. China and Japan went to war over territory. The Qing dynasty was ruling China at that time. Don't confuse it with the Qin dynasty, the root of the name, China. The Qin dynasty is 2,000 years old. This was the Qing dynasty. The other was the Qin dynasty. Same pronunciation. From 1937 to 1945, Chinese people had to endure even more terrible torture by the hands of Japanese colonizers. China's history took a challenging turn in the 19th century when it faced the harsh realities of colonialism. The period from 1839 to 1949 is known as the Century of Humiliation, during which China suffered greatly from foreign invasions and exploitation. The British East India Company, for instance, exported opium to China, leading to widespread addiction and devastating consequences for Chinese society. During World War II, China fought against Japanese aggression and witnessed the deaths of around 30 million of its citizens. Following the war, a civil war between the Chinese Communist Party and the Nationalist Party ensued, eventually leading to the victory of the Communist Party in 1949 and the formation of the People's Republic of China. Under the leadership of Mao Zedong, China embarked on the Great Leap Forward campaign in 1958. The campaign aimed to bring about economic and social transformation in the country. However, the policies implemented had disastrous consequences. Land redistribution and collectivization of agriculture led to decreased productivity and a severe decline in grain production. The result was a devastating famine that claimed the lives of an estimated 20 to 40 million people, making it one of the deadliest famines in history. Mao Zedong's Cultural Revolution, launched in 1966, further plunged China into turmoil. Intended as a revolution of culture, it instead became a means for Mao to consolidate power and suppress opposition. The Red Guards, loyal soldiers of Mao, targeted intellectuals and party officials, creating an environment of fear and violence. A civilian army is formed by the students, the Red Guards. Red Guards were loyal soldiers of Mao who had red armbands on their hands, and they used to carry a small red book by Mao. Their job was to target those who were against Mao. There were people in the Communist Party who were criticizing the Cultural Revolution, criticizing Mao, and they were also targeted by the Red Guards. Liu Shaoqi and Deng Xiaoping were some of the high-ranking party officials, targeted by the Red Guards. In the name of this revolution, a fearful environment was created in the whole country. Historical sites were destroyed, and the lives of ordinary people were turned upside down. Estimates suggest that hundreds of thousands to 2 million lives were lost during this period. Mao Zedong was a dictator. And because there is no checks and balances system for dictators, as there is in a democracy, Dictators often have a habit of imposing their wills without thinking or testing. Several such decisions by Mao made China worse. Another example of such decisions was the sparrow extermination. Mao's intention was to increase food production. So, it was ordered that all the sparrows and all the birds should be killed because those birds ate the grains. They eat some crop grains from the fields. So, the crops are affected by the crops, so all the birds in the country were to be exterminated. When this campaign was run, and sparrows were killed, a few years later, people realized that the insects and pests were multiplying so rapidly. They were causing more damage to the crops. This worsened the food shortage. Later, a scientist found that if all the birds are killed, then no one would be left to eat those insects. The birds used to eat the insects, which kept the insect population in control. The entire ecological balance was disturbed and the situation worsened so terribly that it led to a famine. After such a big failure, Mao was criticized by the Chinese public and by the Communist Party too. But Mao Zedong was not willing to admit his mistake. After Mao's death in 1976, Deng Xiaoping emerged as the new leader of China. Known as the father of modern China, Deng introduced economic liberalization policies, marking a turning point in the country's fortunes. His vision of socialism with Chinese characteristics aimed to free the economy from excessive government control and empower the people. Deng Xiaoping initiated the household responsibility system, which granted long-term leases of land to individual farmers within a collective ownership structure. This allowed farmers more freedom in choosing their crops and selling excess produce for personal profit. Similarly, the factory manager responsibility system shifted control from the Communist Party to workers and managers, fostering a sense of ownership, accountability, and increased productivity. Deng Xiaoping's leadership also focused on improving education and literacy rates. Investments were made in schools, universities, and vocational training centers, providing better opportunities for the younger generation. The promotion of science and technology education laid the foundation for China's later achievements in these fields. One of Deng Xiaoping's boldest moves was the establishment of special economic zones, SEZs, in coastal cities such as Shenzhen and Shanghai. These zones offered tax incentives and relaxed regulations to attract foreign investments and stimulate economic growth. The success of these SEZs encouraged further expansion and reforms throughout the country. To support its growing economy, China embarked on an ambitious infrastructure development spree. Massive projects, such as the Three Gorges Dam, the world's largest hydroelectric power station, and the high-speed rail network, transformed China's transportation and energy sectors. These investments not only boosted domestic connectivity but also facilitated international trade. As China's economy grew, so did its influence in the global market. Chinese companies expanded overseas, acquiring foreign firms and becoming major players in various industries. Today, names like Huawei, Alibaba, and Tencent dominate the tech and e-commerce sectors, showcasing China's rise as a global economic powerhouse. China's focus on science and technology has led to remarkable achievements. From the launch of its first satellite to the successful manned space missions and the development of cutting-edge technologies like 5G and artificial intelligence, China has demonstrated its commitment to becoming a leader in innovation. China's rapid industrialization came at a cost to its environment. However, the country has recognized these issues and is actively working to address them. China is now the largest investor in renewable energy, with a substantial portion of its energy coming from sources like solar and wind power. The government has also implemented stricter environmental regulations to combat pollution and promote sustainable development. China's journey from struggle to superpower is an awe-inspiring tale of resilience, determination, and transformation. From the ashes of a turbulent history, China has emerged as a global force to be reckoned with. Its story teaches us that with vision, leadership, and the collective efforts of its people, a nation can overcome even the most challenging circumstances. Join us next time as we explore another fascinating topic. Until then, keep exploring, keep learning, and keep dreaming big.